Hello again from the team here at the Ygartua Art Chronicles podcast, where we discover the life and work of Paul Ygartua. Today we continue our discussion about Cannes, Paul and Joanne's home from home for several years. We talk about the film festival, bumping into stars, and how Paul came into photorealistic motorbike paintings during their last year in Cannes. So, Cannes, famous for the Cannes Film Festival for most people. So, tell us a bit about that experience, about how that was, how that felt.
Well, first of all, the preparation.
Wow. Always wonderful.
Yeah, and the preparation, my gosh, like a month ahead.
It was exciting just to get to the promenade and see what they'd done the night before.
Wow.
The way they prepare with the lighting in all the palm trees and the flowers and the clean-up squads on the beaches, because all these beaches are all private pay beaches. You have
there's also the public, but that's at the end.
Well, that's at the end.
But it's only 5 minutes.
But in front of the Carlton and all the all these hotels, there's all private beaches. Yeah. So you actually rent the seat. You go down and you pay $10 or $15 for the day, and all you get is a seat. And then you have to buy all your drinks and everything, and you basically have to drink. The waiters harass you to buy more stuff all the time. Okay. But anyway, I just being there was quite exciting to get out there every day and see what was new.
Well, of course,
meet the people. I mean, I met so many different movie stars and different people. Yeah, the film festival was quite something, And we used to go out every evening and walk past, and the restaurants are all busy. Everyone makes money. Yeah, it's a type of deal. It's like our expo in Vancouver. If you don't make money during the film festival, you're just in the wrong business, or you're just in something's going on.
I mean, if you love movies and those, the people, obviously
they were actually getting interviews. All the famous actors, they all had their interviews right out in front of the Carlton on the promenade and everything. I had one film star, woman starlet. One day she's all dolled up and she's got this film crew with her, and she said, "Oh, can I borrow your bike?"
Yeah.
Really?
So she sat on my bike for about 20 minutes getting shots taken of her. Oh. Yeah. Well, my bike in those days was quite a novelty. It was way before they made all these little bikes.
I'd never seen one before.
Mine was stainless steel, folded into a little bag. I think it was the very first prototype. I was totally impressed when I saw it. And so she had the whole film crew photographing her on this bike. And, oh, God.
But people are there that come, they love to see the starlets, the movie star. Yeah. I mean, we're not really into that thing, but we do like to be part of it, and it certainly is pretty special when you're right, like in the front of the beach.
Who's the guy out of the show?
The Carlton's behind you, the beach is in front. So it's just such a great spot, and because you're selling...
the Shawshank Redemption. Who's the guy out of the tall guy?
Robin.
Well, not
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
I chatted to him one day because he was doing some sort of an interview.
Well, over the years there's quite a few.
Yeah, he came by and looked at the painting. Didn't buy anything, but then again, he was quite a friendly type. I didn't realize how tall he was. He's about 6'4" or 5.
Yeah, maybe he is tall. Yeah.
And did you sell him to anyone famous particularly, or do you remember or not?
One guy, I've been trying to rack his name. He was...
was it Stephen King's crew?
Yeah, I sold to Stephen King. All his crew came by because they wanted to film from my spot, right? And I said, well,
you should get out of it. Yeah.
This is my spot.
Buy my paintings.
He said, well, we want to shoot the Carlton from exactly where your work is. Where you're at.
Okay.
Yeah, he said, well, how much it cost, for you to go? He wanted me to go. I said, well, and I just looked at the paintings and started counting them. And he said, okay, just a minute. And he called over all his crew, and he had his director and all these people around. And he said, okay, you need a present for your wife. You need a present.
Oh,
they
really?
ended up buying about 10 pieces off me. I ended up making about $3,000 and I left. Mm-hmm. I said, thank you very much. And I packed up and went home. There was another guy as well. He's half Indian. He was in the Magnificent Seven. An Indian-looking guy. Remember that young guy? He bought a little painting off me. I probably sold to others. I didn't.
Well,
recognize.
actually,
So all kinds of people like directors. They looked like directors. They didn't look like.
Well, actually,
actual
one day you were
movie stars.
stopped because they thought you were a director on your bike.
Oh, that's right.
He got a lot of attention from that.
They
bike.
wanted to film me and to give me an interview.
Yeah. Oh, you must be somebody.
Who are you? You must be somebody. No, nobody. No.
This bike worth its weight in stainless steel, isn't it? Blimey.
It was crazy.
It's given us a lot of stories.
But you were painting, of course.
Of course.
The movie stars, and he had a few. He had Humphrey Bogart.
Oh, I sold lots of paintings. Yeah.
You had Humphrey Bogart was 4 feet by 4 feet,
That's
right?
Yeah.
And so this is when we meet
the
Swedish industrialist.
That's right.
They owned his family. They owned a gas company.
And the movies theatre there.
And one of the islands, the closest island.
That's right. Near Stockholm.
They had, in their family for many years, they had this movie house. And so he wanted the
he ended up buying
paintings.
about 20 big
Every
portraits
year he came,
of all these different movie stars.
3 at a time,
from
4.
From the past and from the present a bit as well. But mostly the old stars like John Wayne and those guys,
Yeah.
And I did... Who's James Bond, the English James Bond?
Oh, yeah. What's his name? It used
the
to be on
TV
show. Yeah.
Ah, you mean Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Roger Moore.
Exactly, yeah.
I did him plenty of times. In fact, I bumped into Roger Moore and said...
That's in Vancouver.
I said, that's in Vancouver. I said, that's Roger Moore. And he turned around and says, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Excellent. In that wonderful silky voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Rest is it.
So,
brilliant.
The other special contacts, after the summer when we get back to the, the next episode, we'll talk about them. But this Swedish industrialist was very, very interesting because
he was good.
he ordered, he would call me from Stockholm.
Flew down deliberately just to pick him up.
Yeah, well, the last time that we were there, because his father had fallen ill and he ended up passing, and so he actually didn't make it to
the
that
film
festival.
That's right.
But he came, we actually invited him for dinner because he made the trip specially to pick up the paintings. I mean, we could have sent them, I guess, but we didn't. He just loved coming.
We actually met so many good clients from me being out there,
Yeah.
Over a period of the 8 years or 7 years.
I've got a list of about 10.
And you chose as you said before, you shouldn't be shy when choosing your spot when you're there.
No.
I mean, just go for it.
Way.
And you obviously things like asking to being moved is part of that whole.
I wasn't going to just get up and move. Just
like who are they?
No, but I mean that opportunity wouldn't have happened if you hadn't dared to be. I mean that's
exactly
right.
In the prime location. Exactly.
Yeah, you can't be scared of anything. That's
no.
For
There was
sure.
me and this other artist, and we both had the best two. He had the best spot.
Yeah.
He was completely directly in front of the entrance to the hotel. I was slightly off to the left, but he was there way before me, and his was, he wasn't going to move you'd have to shoot him to get him out of there.
What's his name?
Patrice, his name was.
Well, he ends up buying paintings from small
He ended up buying my paintings.
Paul, could you do me some little ones? Yeah.
Because he never did little ones. He couldn't paint the style I was doing. And so I ended up selling him a lot of my little ones. Whenever we left, not while I was there, but when I left, I sold them to him. Because he would sell them for twice the price,
Yeah, well, look, once you've got them, it's like...
And there was guys there was artists who came in from Martinique, from Guadeloupe, from all over the French colonies. They'd come there, Madagascar. There was all kinds of artists that came just for a week or 2 weeks or even a few weeks. And would come and paint there.
Or, they used to live between the two, or again, they'd have children at school, but they could school them in Martinique, the same as, Cannes, so, curriculum's all the same. So.
And at night, there was an area over the road from where I sold.
Yeah, those are the night
It
artists.
was at night, and they all had lights on their paintings, and that was for the evening group.
Yeah.
There was an evening crowd, which would have been great for me as well, but obviously I had a family. I wasn't going to be gone all day and night, you know.
Yeah. But
I think I'd probably end up drunk and coming home and my wife totally
to no wife
shooting me, or to no wife. I'd be coming home to no wife.
Yeah.
That's right.
But those guys would not. Oh my gosh, they took quite a long time to get to, or to even speak, right? Because their area is very important.
It was like a mafia as well.
Yeah.
They didn't want any newcomers. They didn't want me over there.
No,
that's for
absolutely
sure.
not.
I would have taken a lot of their business.
Well,
so
right, yeah.
You're all different, but that's it's different. So
and what type of we haven't talked at all about what kind of painting, apart from doing your portraits and maybe bending a little bit towards portraits of film stars and those sort of smart moves. So what were you doing? Yeah, because before the previous episode we were talking about plexiglass that had started, and you've been in
the plexi
Quebec.
was difficult.
Where were we?
To do it for the promenade. So I didn't actually sell plexi
not
on the promenade.
You got to spray
it.
But I did
for
privately. I did it, and I did it
La Croisette.
to La Croisette, and I did it to the Oriental guy from Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's.
So you had,
I
guess you had a couple of examples there that people could
I had
see.
photographs of things. Yeah.
No, the plexi were never taken.
I didn't want to take them on the
also
promenade
because
the price range was different as well. I was selling them for a lot more, But I was doing most of the impressionist work, scenes, street scenes. The promenade, I sold lots of the promenade.
Oh yeah.
And of Portofino. Portofino was a hot seller no matter where I was.
Yeah.
Portofino just has that appeal,
our whole life.
All our life, God knows.
But after being in Rome as well,
Italian scenes
all Italian.
always popular, especially because we'd got a lot of Italians in Cannes.
Yeah.
The weekend we used to get hundreds of Italians that would come across,
I mean, the Italian scenes in Vancouver as well.
Anywhere, it doesn't matter where I was.
Portofino was really...
Sitges everywhere.
Yeah, and Portofino was absolutely crazy. Where here in Vancouver,
you want to make money, just get a Portofino out there.
I have clients. They would have 5.
Oh yeah, they'd buy 4 or 5 of different ones of Portofino.
That's right, but they'd have one in their office,
different angles, not all looking the same scene,
and maybe 2 at home, and then they have another I don't know, winter home.
And of course,
or
when
summer
we
home.
went there that day, the time we went there, where I left the engine running, I went there and took photographs. I took new photographs from different angles that weren't, in the books or in the postcards. So I had my own backup things of Portofino as well to work from. Yeah,
the same with Venice is also very, very popular. Venice was terrific, and anytime we went to Venice, we in later years constantly took many, many photos. So you did have some excellent photos that were very different.
I hadn't started my palette knife paintings by then. I didn't get into palette knife till a bit later.
Abstract expressionism.
Not the abstract expressionism.
No, it was all impressionist.
That's right, all impressionist. So
Okay.
they could see something in the painting.
But you did
even
also...
though it was slightly abstract.
You did also the French fisherman.
Yes, French fisherman.
Because he's used to doing, people from the area.
Yeah.
And
there's no real natives in that area.
Oh yes, always.
Really? No, but I mean from
that.
Always.
No natives.
Not from that area is what I mean.
Not from that area.
It would be
but
Spanish
I did always
or...
I always had a native, West Coast native out there.
Yeah.
They were always a seller,
Yeah, wherever you were.
Yeah, it didn't matter where,
Yeah, certain things are, just...
So it's a variety. I always had a variety because I was catering not just to one taste. I wanted to cater to maybe 4 different people's tastes. So I had to have large portraits, I had to have scenes, I had to have some semi-abstract, some
and the movie
impressionistic.
stars, of course, were new.
Stars.
Never did that.
Yeah, it just depends. But there's something for everybody, And a lot of the artists out there, they only had one style. They were working one style constantly. So if they didn't like that style, they weren't going to be buying anything from them.
Yes.
And the thing is, maybe because we've always been in different areas, and we look at why have we gone to this area? It's to investigate, and
we didn't want a gallery in Cannes either.
No.
Even though there were galleries that would have taken my work, but there's no point because you can't be on the promenade selling and